Happening now, why Jamestown City Councilman wants police detectives to wear body cameras, plus the renewed call to help local governments struggling following the COVID-19 pandemic.
And more clouds than sun out there than we had yesterday, but the temperatures are going to be warming up along with a chance for more rain. I've got the details next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. A Jamestown City Councilman is proposing that Jamestown police detectives and their supervisors start to wear body cameras. Former Jamestown police officer and now councilman at large Jeff Russell made the recommendation during last night's City Council work session. Russell says currently only officers who are in uniform wear them, and that body cameras have to be on when they are in contact with the public.
I think it's imperative at the police department that we have transparency. And I think our detectives wearing body cameras when they have contact with the public would further show that we're trying to be transparent, that we're not hiding anything.
Russell suggests that body cameras would help clear up any matters involving allegations that could be made against the detectives going forward. He adds that he'd want the blessing of both Acting Police Chief Tim Jackson and the city's Corporation Council. Meanwhile, a City of Jamestown employee is tested positive for COVID-19, that according to Mayor Eddie Sundquist. Sundquist, however, did not identify the employee by name or department that they worked in. He says other employees the infected person came into contact with were tested negative for the virus. He adds that the test came after the contact tracing process. Furthermore, the mayor says his office has worked hand in hand with the Chautauqua County Health Department. He urges that any employee who feels ill or thinks they would have been exposed should get tested as soon as possible, even if they are not showing symptoms of the virus. Now, this is the first City of Jamestown employee to be infected with coronavirus. On Tuesday, the Chautauqua County Health Department reported 3 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the countywide total to 135, with 37 of those active. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic is shortchanging the economy, quite literally. And you may soon see the effects of it next time you're at a store. Our Mandy Gaither explains.
If there's a little less jingle in your pocket, there's a reason for that. The Federal Reserve says there's a coin shortage. You might see signs like this one posted at a store, and it's because of the pandemic, which has significantly disrupted the supply chain and the way U.S. coins are circulated. Coin deposits from institutions like banks to the Federal Reserve have declined significantly the past few months. The U.S. Mint says its production of coins has also decreased due to measures put in place to protect its employees from the coronavirus. The Federal Reserve coin orders starting to increase as regions reopen. The coin inventory is at below normal levels. Officials at the Federal Reserve say they're working to lessen the effects of the shortage to minimize supply constraints and maximize production. The agency is managing how it distributes the coins it does have and is encouraging institutions to only order enough coins to meet consumer demand. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. Federal Reserve officials say they're confident the coin shortage will be resolved once more of the economy opens and coins go back to being circulated as usual. Well, U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer is renewing his push to secure federal aid for state and local governments to help them recover from COVID-19 financial impacts. Schumer spoke at Olean High School yesterday with local leaders in Cattaraugus County. The senator says many local communities are facing a budgetary crisis due to the pandemic. He says unlike past bills, the new measure considered by the Senate sends funds directly to local governments.
Money does not go through the state. That money that would come to the city of Olean, the county of Cattaraugus, or the other local communities goes directly to them from the federal government. Because we know the state has very sticky fingers. And even when they say there's money for the local, you don't always get it. Same with the school money. We gave school money to go directly through, and the money is very flexible. The mayor talked about revenue loss. Well, some on the other side didn't want to allow the states to use the money for revenue loss, but the bill does.
Schumer says Cattaraugus County is estimated to lose nearly $6 million in revenue. He says if no direct federal aid gets into the hands of municipalities, more staff from around Western New York will be cut or likely furloughed. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now as we make our way through another week. Gotta say hello to Joseph. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks so much for joining us today. Good to see Wendy on the broadcast, TR, David, Rod, and Kirk as well. Great to see Brenda and Christina. Hopefully everybody's having a good day and enjoying some of the beautiful weather that we're having out there because it's absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of that weather, now let's get a check of our First Defense weather forecast with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Hunterelli. Good to see you here, Dakota.
I was actually afraid that during that transition you were going to say I think talking about good-looking people about me being good-looking.
Well,
or
hey,
something along those lines.
You always look spiffy. I love the colors. You always try something new. So.
Well,
You only thing is you can't ever wear green. We always joke about that.
Yeah, that's true.
No green
because,
for Dakota.
This is a green wall back behind me. So, you can't wear anything green. Otherwise, I turn into the weather graphic. But anyway, here's a live look. Yeah, there you go. You see, this is exactly what I see. Nothing but green. But anyway, here's a live look that is coming from Findlay Lake, 68 degrees and more clouds out there than there were yesterday. But I think there will be at least a few odds of peak sunshine through the afternoon. Radar is dry. Not going to spend time on it. It should stay that way through the day and especially through tomorrow. 67 here in Jamestown, 69 in Mayville, 71 Clymer, 74 in Erie. Look at this Lake Erie water temp, 77 degrees. That's bath water. Go and grab your soap, your shampoo, and go and take a bath in the lake because that is bath water when it's up that warm. And so again, if you have any beach trips planned today, you should be good. 72 is the high yesterday, 55 was the low this morning. 95 is the record high for this date, set all the way back in 1936. Actually the whole decade of the 1930s was a very warm a very warm period across the entire globe, not just here locally. So 73 to 78 through the afternoon, another day of sun and cloud battles, another nice day, comfy and a little bit warmer than where it was yesterday, but we spiked the heat, the humidity, and maybe a few thunderstorms as well through the later part of the week. We'll break it all down later in the show. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. Governor Andrew Cuomo says there will be no one-size-fits-all approach to reopening schools this fall. The state released its list of guidelines yesterday, but is leaving the specifics up to each school district. Now, across the board, districts need to create a flexible plan. Teachers and students are required to wear face coverings, and social distancing will also have to be enforced, and not just in the classroom. The governor says students will have to wear masks even on school buses. Schools will also have to utilize classrooms and any other extra space to spread students out during lunchtime or any other meal served during school hours. Now, schools can begin to reopen if a region is in phase 4 and the daily infection rates are below 5% or lower than a 14-day period.
If you have the virus under control, reopen. If you don't have the virus under control, then you can't reopen, right? We're not going to use our children as a litmus test, and we're not going to put our children in a place where their health is endangered. It's that simple.
School districts will have until July 31st to submit their reopening plans to the state. And the governor has added additional states to New York's travel advisory list. Take a look. In a bulletin this morning, he announced Minnesota, New Mexico, Wisconsin, and now Ohio are among 24 states on that list. The governor says all states on the list have a significant community spread of COVID-19, and those traveling from the states must quarantine for 14 days upon arrival into New York. Now, yesterday, Governor Cuomo announced a travel enforcement operation at airports across the state to help ensure that travelers are actually following these quarantine restrictions. Delaware has been removed from the advisory list after it fell below the qualifying metrics. Well, if you received a COVID-19 stimulus check for somebody who passed away, don't worry about returning it. The Internal Revenue Service is now saying those checks all have been canceled. The tax agency previously required family members to return them. In its rush to get the checks to 160 million eligible taxpayers quickly, the Treasury Department relied on previous tax filings. Some people had died between their last filing and when the checks were sent out. Now, the checks and many taxpayers also received one-time payments through direct deposits. Lawmakers are currently looking at another payment, although it will likely be more selective in who receives it. Coming up next, Jamestown Public Schools is now seeking the community's feedback about changing the Red Raider logo. But first, an update on last week's fatal stabbing here in Jamestown. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. The murder case for a Jamestown man will be heard by a Chautauqua County grand jury later this month. That's according to acting Jamestown Police Chief Tim Jackson, who was asked by Mayor Eddie Sundquist to provide an update to the City Council during yesterday's work session. Jamestown Police charged 28-year-old Carl Sorensen with second-degree murder in the death of 23-year-old Brandon Holland, who was stabbed in the chest while walking on the sidewalk along North Main Street between East 4th and East 5th Streets around 10:14 on July 6th. Holland was taken to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital where he died of his injuries. Officers say Sorensen was taken into custody last week by investigators at his apartment on Washington Street here in Jamestown. Investigators say additional charges are expected as their investigation continues. Sorensen is scheduled to appear virtually in Jamestown City Court this Friday at 9 a.m. for a preliminary hearing. He was remanded to Chautauqua County Jail during a preliminary arraignment last week. Well, Jamestown Public Schools is looking to hear the community's feedback following calls to change their Red Raider logo. Newly appointed Superintendent Dr. Kevin Whitaker released a statement yesterday afternoon on the issue. He says the district has formed a committee of students, parents, and staff to hear stakeholder feedback. Furthermore, he says as the logo and name have been a long-standing tradition at Jamestown High School, this certainly is not an overnight solution. He hopes by talking about concerns and viewpoints in a committee format, he'll find a way to bridge understanding and create an outcome that will make everyone included in the process. Now, members of the Jamestown Justice Coalition were one of the first groups to call on Jamestown Public Schools to change their name. Yesterday on this program, community activist Justin Hubbard says teams like Washington Redskins dropping Redskins from their name is a good start in the process.
I think it shows overall that there's been a call nationwide to get rid of these slogans, names, and mascots that are depicting our Native American people in a derogatory manner. And I think it should come from all levels, really from the bottom up, and we can start at our local high schools and club teams as well.
Hubbard says the Justice Coalition have a meeting scheduled with the school superintendent later this week. A new analysis of cell phone data in 10 coronavirus hotspots show even more people hit the road over the 4th of July weekend than over the Memorial Day weekend, despite warnings from health experts. The analysis comes from data by Cubic. They're a private company that the CDC uses to track general movements here in the U.S. Cubic focused on the number of visitors to and from 10 metro area hotspots here in the States. Now, according to the data, nearly all of those metro areas saw an increase in the number of visitors when compared to either Memorial Day weekend or the 2 weekends before that. The sole exception was the Phoenix area, which saw a slightly higher percentage of visitors during Memorial Day. Orlando, Florida saw the largest increase in visitors compared to the weeks leading up to the 4th of July. Of the 10 hotspots, Atlanta residents were the most likely to travel, including taking trips out of their state. Experts say that mobility is one of the risk factors for transmission of COVID, but it could be weeks before we see an increase in cases linked to the holiday. Well, from a box or homemade, either way you prefer it, a pile of cheese is good for today because it's National Mac and Cheese Day. According to the National Day calendar, it falls each year on July 14th. The basic ingredient is pretty simple: macaroni, milk or cream, and of course that ooey gooey cheese. Some chefs get creative with bacon, jalapenos, or other additions. Now, the origin of mac and cheese is unknown, but the celebration requires an appetite. And certainly that looks delicious. I don't know about you guys, but they always put these food stories right when we're going to go to lunch. I've come to that conclusion. We eat lunch after the broadcast, Dakota and I, and let me tell you, I'm usually pretty hungry by this time. I don't know about you, Dakota. Are you pretty hungry?
Well, I mean, I'm hungry anyway because, I mean, you know, if you people know my schedule, I don't get up until like the very last minute when I have to get up. So I generally forego breakfast on the weekdays because I just don't have time. I don't sleep very much. None of us in the weather office sleep very much. I mean, Andrew doesn't get a whole lot of sleep either. I don't. I mean, that's just the nature of the business. So, Justin, how much sleep do you get in a night?
Probably about 9-10 hours.
Oh, come on. Oh,
I
come
like
on.
my sleep. I don't function if I don't have sleep. That's like the one thing. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I know that sounds crazy, but up with the chickens.
So, you know, according to my watch, I actually installed, it's not out yet, but I have the beta of watchOS 7. And watchOS 7 for the Apple Watch can now track your sleep. So according to my watch, I got about 4 hours of sleep last night. So,
ooh, boy,
I'm doing good today.
Get Dakota another Tim Hortons.
That's what you know what?
Get him another coffee.
I mean, you know what? In order to do this job right, you have to live with a limited amount of sleep. Speaking of living, how about the temperatures over the past week here? How about this heat wave we had last week? 88 degrees on Thursday, last Thursday. That was the hottest day we've had since 2013. And you can see we just cooled it right off over the weekend. And yesterday, the high was 72 degrees yesterday. So here's what's coming up here. So shy, stubborn sunshine today. It may peak out at times, but I think the clouds are really going to win it out through the day today. Tomorrow, it turns much warmer through the day tomorrow. Chance for maybe a few stronger showers or thunderstorms through the day on Thursday, and then we're going to be back into the sun as we head into the weekend and into early next week. 67 outside right now. Mostly cloudy skies and complete overcast being reported there. Northwest wind at 9 and the dew point at 58. That's going to be the key number that we're going to be watching through the next couple of days. The dew point's going to be rising, and that means the humidity will rise along with that. NOAA Storm Prediction Center has placed all of the region under a low-end marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5. Not for today, not for tomorrow. This is for Thursday. With a storm system moving close to the region, we'll have basically a better chance for showers and thunderstorms through the day on Thursday. Some of them could be strong with mainly gusty winds, but it's a very low chance. Something that we're going to keep an eye on, especially as we go through the day on Thursday. Beautiful protection through the midweek. There's a high. It's a legal high, and it's going to be moving like this. There's you. It's going to be coming out to hang out with you, socially distanced, through the day today and tomorrow. Future scan paints you that picture. You can see the clouds basically through the southern tier in northwestern Pennsylvania. They'll start to partly clear out tonight, so we'll call tonight partly cloudy on average, quiet, and actually not bad for tonight either. Tomorrow should be a fabtabulous weather day. We may actually break into areas of maybe full sunshine for at least a period tomorrow afternoon. How's that? The big yellow blob back in the sky once again. And then as we get into Thursday, a storm system is going to be approaching, which will bring us those widespread showers and thunderstorms through the day on Thursday. And again, some of them could be strong to severe. And of course, we'll be here basically all day keeping an eye on them for you on Thursday. So temperatures inland today, likely lower to mid 70s. Some of these numbers might be overdone. It's actually going to depend on how much sunshine we see through the afternoon. So I would count on lower 70s for most, maybe just a small chance of an isolated shower. Next 7 days of your life coming up now. Wednesday, 84 degrees, lots of sunshine, 85 on Thursday. Chance for some of those thunderstorms could be a bit on the stronger side. And then we turn the heat and the humidity way up as we go into the weekend into early next week. How about upper 80s with almost near tropical humidity once again? We'll take a break and be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. Last month is now in the history books as the third warmest June on record. Those findings are from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. June 2020 tied with June 2015 as the third warmest on record. NOAA also says the first half of this year saw near record warmth for the globe. Certainly I can believe it, and really the way that things have been going this month, I'd not be surprised if we'd hit some records. I know Buffalo has hit some local records, so it's certainly hot. Wait, what is he yelling about?
It is July. It is supposed to be hot.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, it's funny though. I've had this conversation with so many people. They get so upset that we have such hard winters and lake effect snow and I just want to move. And then it's like August, 95 degrees, and they're complaining that they don't have air conditioning.
My dad was talking about that the other day. It's like we all spend all winter talking about the cold and the snow and whatnot, and we can't wait for it to warm up again. And then when it gets warm again, we're all complaining that we want the cold weather back. I don't understand. Nobody's ever happy.
Let us know what you think about that in the comments. Are you a
People want a
cold weather
machine
person?
that can hit a button that brings the sun out every day. That's what people want.
They just want it tailored to them. I mean, it's such an interesting debate, I think, because it's something, aside from COVID-19, it's something that affects every single one of us, is the weather. It's what you're going to wear today.
Well, there's a big difference between weather and climate, but that's all I'm saying on it. If you know me, I have chosen not to say anything about CC.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that.
No, I get it. Got to say hello to Andrew. Good to see Lori. Tim, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to Joseph as well. Hopefully everyone's having a good day and enjoying the weather. If you like it, you probably are. If you don't like it, then, you're probably sweating to death. It is what it is. I like the air conditioning, but I don't complain about the cold, so.
It is what it is. It's like, hey, you know what? Perfect mic drop. Hey, here's your forecast. Get over it. There it is. 55 to 64 tonight. Quiet, partly cloudy with areas of valley fog setting up by the morning. So look out if you're a early bird riser. Some patchy fog. Jay?
All right, Dakota, thank you. I deal with it every day. So there was some this morning. I should have took a picture. I should have pulled over and took a picture for you.
Hashtag MyLocalWX.
Yeah, there you go. That's the hashtag, MyLocalWX. Well, that's going to do it for us today. You can sum up the show with one hashtag, hot. We're back tomorrow. Hopefully everyone's having a great one. We look forward to seeing you there. We leave you with this shot over Chautauqua Lake. If you can, get out and enjoy.